Montage is one of, if not the most frequently used editing techniques in both film and television, and we've all likely seen hundreds if not thousands of montages at this point, as it is the go-to method of condensing time essentially. If a filmmaker needs to convey a lot of things in a short period of screen time, the answer is always a good old montage. But when used correctly, this editing technique can become a truly beautiful art. And today I want to take a look at a few montages from animated Disney films, because I think that Disney truly mastered how to show a character transitioning from their adolescence into a young adult through the use of montage. And the three montages I want to specifically discuss are from The Lion King, Hercules, and Tarzan. And all three of these montages see our lead characters, Simba, Hercules, and Tarzan, in a position in life where they are young and a bit lost. Simba just lost his father and is in self-imposed exile because he thinks of himself as a failure and murderer. Hercules has been separated from his true family and has all of the strength but doesn't know how to use it properly. And Tarzan has also been separated from his family and is now being raised by an entirely different species in a foreign environment. And the most important aspect to all of these montages, in my opinion, is the fact that our characters don't physically age until we're near the end of the montage. For the vast majority of these coming-of-age montages, our characters remain young. And you might initially think that this is counterintuitive to the point of a coming-of-age sequence. Aren't we supposed to slowly see the characters age throughout it? But keeping these characters young for most of the montage is key, because it shows all of their struggles while they're still in their adolescence. And only once they've mastered or overcome a specific obstacle does the montage then allow the characters to increase in age. And this creates a very important parallel between getting older and evolving as an individual, which is the brilliance of what Disney did with all three of these coming-of-age stories. In The Lion King, Simba remains a young cub as he's struggling to come to grips with this new lifestyle of eating bugs and the idea of suppressing all of his worries for this carefree lifestyle. At one point, we even see Timon filing the young lion's claws down, symbolically showing their attempts to make him ignore his true nature, the purpose bestowed upon him by Mufasa, if you will. And only once Simba has fully accepted the Hakuna Matata moniker, do we then get to see him finally grow up right before our very eyes, in the beautifully moonlit sequence on the log. Here we fade through a few different versions of Simba as he sings and wags his head with Timon and Pumbaa, and this is so important because Simba's physical growth is used to mirror his adaptation to this new life. Only once he is fully adapted does he become a young adult. Many filmmakers would have opted to have Simba slowly getting older from scene to scene, to the point where it was almost unnoticeable, because that'd be the conventional way to show his growth, but by having it take place so suddenly, it reinforces this important parallel to this character's emotional growth. In Tarzan, we start the montage by seeing our lead character struggling to keep up with his new family of gorillas and to adapt to the jungle. He simply lacks the same skill set as his adopted family. We see him struggling to swing on vines, struggle to climb a tree, almost get eaten by alligators. Suffice to say, Tarzan needs to adapt to this new environment. And throughout the montage, we see Tarzan slowly start to get better at the whole living in the jungle thing, and we get to see him slowly integrate some of his human abilities into his strategy to survive in the jungle. We see him make spears to catch fruit, we see him use his more slender and lean frame to acrobatically swing from vines and escape predators. And again, only once this adaptation and growth of his skill set and mindset has been completed, do we then get to see him finally age into a young adult. In a beautiful fade transition, we see him start a twirl as a child, and by the time he has completed this little acrobatic maneuver, he's a young adult, which of course also symbolizes his development as a character. In Hercules, we have a montage that starts off with Phil lecturing Hercules about his experiences of training potential heroes, and then a few sequences of Hercules starting to train and honestly kind of sucking at it. He certainly has the strength to be a hero, but he does not have the skills or finesse required just yet. And this is symbolized really beautifully through the doll that our lead character is trying to save throughout the montage. In the early stages here, we see the doll slowly getting more and more ripped up as it gets cuts all over and loses limbs, because Hercules is of course failing to save it properly, and even after Hercules starts saving the doll adequately, it still bears all of these scars from its wear and tear, which visually symbolizes just how hard this training was and how long it took Hercules to get it right. And just like the previous two sequences I discussed, only once Hercules has developed his skills and has grown into a physically capable hero do we then get to see him grow up. We go right from the Karate Kid inspired sequence in front of the sunset directly to Hercules having a bicep so big that it breaks Phil's measuring tape. And again, this physical growth is only allowed to happen after the hard work has been put in and the development has been earned. Another thing that all three of these montages have in common is that they are scored by very catchy songs, but also songs that directly tell you the emotional development that is taking place. And this is low-key a cheat code for Disney. Not only do they visually show you these great lead characters slowly adapting into new versions of themselves, but they are literally telling us how this is going to happen through song. With Hakuna Matata, we're literally told that it means no worries for the rest of your days. It's a problem-free philosophy. And visually, Simba is of course starting to adopt this outlook on life. In Tarzan Through the Son of Man song, we're told in the incredible voice of Phil Collins, though there's no one here to guide you, no one to take your hand, but with faith and understanding, you will journey from boy to man. And in Hercules, Phil lets us know that he's down to one last hope. And I hope it's you. Though kid, you're not exactly a dream come true. I've trained enough turkeys who never came through. You're my one last hope, so you'll have to do. And this is so brilliant to me because it ensures that we are not only watching these characters develop into adulthood, oftentimes through a visually beautiful fade transition, but we're literally encouraged to sing about their development and get these oh so integral lyrics stuck in our head. And as a child, I never picked up on this, of course, but as an adult who analyzes film far more than I probably should, I think this 1990s era of Disney utterly mastered the art of developing a character through montage. Because while yes, the point of a montage is to fast forward through time in a quick and efficient way, these montages still manage to emphasize how hard and how long of a journey our lead characters were on, and make sure to highlight that this long journey was only truly complete once they grew into adults. So we do save a bunch of screen time, but we also manage to not lose how long and treacherous their coming of age arcs were for them. All three are simply great showcases of what a montage can be when used to its highest potential. Well, if you made it this far, please let me know in the comments, what's your favorite animated Disney film of all time? Also, what Disney song did you just always seem to have stuck in your head growing up? For a young screen stories, it was definitely Friend Like Me from Aladdin. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to drop a like or subscribe for more Screen Stories content. Until next time, peace.